This is the KRMG Afternoon News with Skylar Cooper.
It's time for the BA Breakdown on the KRMG Afternoon News. I'm Skylar Cooper, and we are joined by Broken Arrow City Manager Michael Spurgeon. Hey, Michael.
Skylar, how are you, my friend? I hope your week is going well and you're staying cool. I was outside today and it's hot. I'm glad there's going to be a cool down tomorrow.
Oh, man, me too. So ready for it. And it's already, we got a little taste of it with those showers that came through. So, we're excited for that. Got a few things I want to ask you about. In fact, I have a question from a listener that I want to get to. So let me pull up that open mic before we forget it. We'll end the segment there. But let me start by asking you for a follow-up on something we talked about many weeks ago. And people come to me and they're asking me, so I'm bringing it to you. And that's about the police department. We have, by my count, 5 Broken Arrow police officers on administrative leave. There was the one situation involving the body cam that was released. We kind of know about that, but that officer's on leave. And then there was the other situation we don't really know anything about other than there are 4 officers on leave. So for the public's sake and transparency, is there something you can tell us? Is there anything that we can know about either of those situations right now?
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad that you're asking about that, Skylar, because you know me, I like to share what I can share. Coincidentally, this afternoon, I did receive from the chief of police recommendations. The predeterminations, the internal investigations were finished up on 2 officers, and I've let him know that I will look at those later this week or early next week, and then make my determination based on those recommendations. And so, once I make those once I review the documentation and the recommendations, I'll make a decision, and then I'll be able to update the community on exactly what action that I've taken as a result of what happened. So there are several officers. This is not all of them. It's just 2. But I certainly want to make sure that I go through everything thoroughly and then make the appropriate decision, because as members of a collective bargaining unit, which is the FOP, I have a responsibility to make sure that I'm very thorough first and foremost, as I would with any personnel matter. But obviously there is an opportunity for the FOP to consider filing a grievance. And then if I don't agree with the grievance, then the matter could be arbitrated. And so I've got a responsibility to do what I think is right, but at the same time, make sure I'm looking at everything thoroughly and knowing there is a possibility there could be appeal of my decision.
When you say there's 2, are those 2 from the same situation that involved 4 of them?
One of them is the officer involved with the illegal entry.
Okay, so that would have been the first one we knew about with the body cam.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and then secondly, that I guess would involve one of the 4 in the separate case. So can we talk about it next week? Maybe we have some more information.
I'm hoping to look at them next week. But like I said, when I have not seen any of the information. I always take the position. I wait until I get the recommendation. Then I've got to review body cam. I got to review internal investigations, the personnel policy, the collective bargaining agreement. And so I'm hoping to get to it early next week. And so I might have an update for you next week, but I certainly hope to get through at least these 2 by the end of next week and have my decision. And I will be glad to let you know, my friend.
Sounds good. It's Broken Arrow City Manager Michael Spurgeon with us. The BA Breakdown. One of our top stories today is the big chunk of money coming in from the state for the amphitheater project, almost $40 million. That sounds like it's going to help with the infrastructure around the place, but can you help me understand what this is needed for? I was kind of under the understanding that the TIF had been put in place and there were already mechanisms to get funding for that infrastructure.
Okay, so hang with me for a minute here, okay? First off and foremost is the state is not writing us a check for $39.5 million, okay? What they are guaranteeing is they've made a commitment that they believe that this is the type of project that is going to be over $100 million revenue positive to the state through 2049, which is the life of the TIF. So what they're doing is they've said that we're using 3.55, our total sales tax. So all the sales tax is generated within the TIF district, which is basically out at the events park, around NSU University, and also surrounding area. So all the sales tax that is generated within there will go back into the TIF to help us pay for our public improvements. Well, we're also going to get 0.355 of the state's 4.5 for every sales that's generated in there. So actually, it's an amount that we anticipate, or they estimate that we could receive based on the sales projections. And so, if the amphitheater performs as we know that it will, based on the projections and everything that we've looked at, we're going to generate sales tax that the city will receive from our portion, and we get a portion of the state sales tax. So those two sources combined will help us repay the public investment that's being made to do the public infrastructure, as well as provide additional infrastructure as the businesses start to grow in that area to support the amphitheater and those residents that are going to come for convenience stores, restaurants, hotels. There's going to be additional public improvements that are going to be needed to support that awesome facility, because they're talking about on an annual basis, there could be a draw of over 600,000 people that come to the amphitheater as a result of the shows that are going to be held out there starting in October of next year.
Okay, so it sounds kind of like a tax rebate that will be over the course of many years.
Yes, that's a very simple way to put it, is that, obviously we get nothing from the state if we don't generate the sales tax. And so that's why it's important that we looked at this and made sure that this was a great deal for the city, and we believe that it is. And the additional funds from the state, as well as Wagner County's share of the county tax, is going to help secure our risk. Obviously, anytime you borrow money from yourself or from a financial institution, you want to make sure you secure that risk. And so the state's commitment to this project is going to help us ensure that we're able to get a return on investment for the public dollars we're going to be put into this project.
All right, and we're just about out of time, but I want to play you this open mic from a listener.
Sure.
I don't know if you can answer it. It's about Aspen Ridge, the development down there on the south side.
Okay.
Is there any truth to the rumor that Home Depot is coming to South Broken Arrow across from the new Reesers?
Is there any truth that Home Depot coming to the 14-acre, what would be the 14 acres across from Aspen Ridge? The answer to that question, Skylar, is all I can tell the public right now is that we have several large home improvement stores that have interest in South Broken Arrow. And so when you have large box or retail stores like that start to look at your community, there's always going to be an opportunity sooner or later. So we're excited that we know that they're looking, but that's all I really can say right now. Once I know more, I'll be glad to let you know. Of course, I got to let the council know first, but at this point, all I can share is I don't see that happening on the 14 acres, but I do know we have a lot of large boxes looking at the South Broken Arrow, especially not only because of Aspen Ridge, but because of the fact that we are going to be making major announcements later this year with regard to the shops at Aspen Creek, where the Warren Theater is.
All right. Okay. Well, sounds cool. Thank you so much for the update, and we'll hopefully hear more on that soon. It's always good chatting with you. We'll talk next week.
I know. I sorry we went a little bit long, but hopefully that's good information, my friend. You have a good rest of the week.